Okay, so I know I said the big Shadowverse video would be next, but ReZero Season 3, the first half, did just wrap up. I mean, wrapped up like a week and a half ago, but by my schedule, that's pretty good for me. So I figured let's take the time, strike while the iron's hot, and by hot I mean cooling down rapidly, to talk about the first half of ReZero Season 3. But before we do, obviously, we should do a little catch up for people who may not have known, i.e., what I thought of the first two seasons. So, I did not watch ReZero when it first came out in God, what was it, like 2016 was season one? Some long ass time ago. There's a huge gap in between seasons one and two. I started the show when they did a re airing of season one, where they did 2 episodes each as hour-long chunks, which then led into season two. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I really liked it. I do really like ReZero. I know I knock it from time to time. Hell, I knocked it in like the last video or the one before that. But if I'm being totally honest with y'all, this really is one of the better isekai out there. I think the characters are great. I think the story's good. The action is solid. The comedy's usually pretty funny. I think it is all in all a good show. Some of you may remember that I did a video where I talked about a lot of my issues with season two, how I thought it was a bit of a step down from season one and had a lot of unnecessary problems that I feel like with maybe like an extra draft or two could have been fixed, but it didn't change the fact that I was excited for season three and was really excited to see where it goes. Granted, also knowing that the Sanctuary arc is the longest arc as well as has the most reincarnations. So yeah, what did I think of season three overall? The first part. I got to keep prefacing that because someone's going to complain. I really liked it. I thought this was a huge improvement from season two. I think it fixed a lot of my issues with season two. And I think all in all had a much more better pace to it. I think the characterization was a lot better. The reincarnations were used in more interesting ways. I think overall this is a lot of fun and has a lot of the really great character beats that I think makes ReZero very strong. Is it perfect? No. We'll talk about a couple issues at the end. But for the most part, I do really feel invested in what's going on, and I cannot wait till February or January to see what happens next. I don't even know when it comes back. I just want it back now, damn it. So yeah, let's begin with the premise. Y'all know the gist of ReZero. Even if you've never seen it, you know what this show is about. Dude named Subaru blinks, wakes up in New World, meets a ton of pretty girls, wants a superpower, but his only superpower is when he dies, he comes back, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Here we are. And yeah, so this arc picks up a year after season two. Okay, that feels a little long, especially because no one looks like they've aged, nor do you know what anyone was really doing in the meantime besides them just getting ready for what they know will be the next adventure, but whatever. Also, side note, I hope they're bathing Rem's like lifeless corpse. Otherwise, that thing's gonna stink the mansion up. But yeah, so Subaru, Amelia, Garfield, and Otto all embark onto the capital city of this world, leaving Roswell and best character Ram behind. That's right, they left Ram behind 0 out of 10. Oh yeah, and Beatrice is there too. But yeah, so our heroes go off to the capital city where we get a 90-minute episode one. So effectively just the first 4 episodes scotch taped together. Just based around introducing the new city, meeting a bunch of the political parties, reintroducing the other dragon priestess chicks. That's what they're called, right? I don't care. You re-meet all of them. You kind of get caught up on things. It is kind of funny because I feel like these episodes kind of make the whole Sanctuary arc feel overly long and dragged out. Like, nothing that really happened there plays a huge role so far in what's going on. And it kind of just feels like everything that happened you could have summed up in 3 episodes. Because they don't even talk about it that much. And the show does definitely fit the pacing more of the first season. I know that is an issue for some people, that they don't like that each arc of ReZero feels very radically different. And not in like an interesting way, just in a jarring way. But for me, I actually think it does kind of work, especially with where everyone's arcs and personal growth always go in those directions. So I'm fine with it. But yeah, so we enter the capital city. We meet new characters like the Bard girl. We see all the interesting culture, all the just sort of interesting things about it. So much better than just wandering around a forest for 24 episodes. But yeah, we get to the capital city, and after 90 minutes of fun, as well as some revelations about various characters, we are then encountering our new group of villains, and that is the other witches cult leaders. Witch cult leaders? I don't know how you do this, because like the witches is possessive, that would indicate one, but this is not important, not important. So yeah, we are introduced to our new bad guys, the various leaders of the different witches cults, and I'm just going to tell you right now, they're all great. I think we meet like what, 3 of them, and they are so just devilishly entertaining, chewing scenery in the best way, but also doing a really good job of showing you why they are very terrifying and they are very compelling bad guys. We have, what was it? Wrath, Lust, and Greed. And I can't say I don't know which one is my favorite because I like them all. What I really like about these bad guys, and to say why I like them, I gotta say something I usually can't stand. I normally can't stand bad guys whose shtick is they're just crazy. Everything they do, whether it makes sense or not, is just because they're insane. There's no dichotomy to them. There's no intelligence. It's just they do crazy shit until they're stopped. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What's interesting about these guys is that is kind of what's happening here. They're insane. They don't really have like a huge overall goal. They're just kind of doing what they're doing because they feel like it in the moment. They don't have smart strategies. They don't really think very well. And they don't even get along with each other. But the show is very good at making it feel like that's why they're scary. These guys are not scary because they're hyper intelligent. They're scary because they're hyper dangerous. When you get that introduction of Wrath, where she is just like completely blowing their cover just because she really feels like killing a group of people. And when you see how she does it and like the way she goes about it, how much fun she's having doing the worst things imaginable, it's genuinely terrifying. It's genuinely intimidating. ReZero is very good at that, in part due to the fact that Subaru's just kind of a guy. So like, what can he really do against a threat like this? When you meet Lust, who is a little girl as opposed to that Lust, which is what I will always compare Lust to. Also 0 out of 10, no big titties. When you see the fact that like a part of why she's doing it, yeah, she wants like the tomes or whatever, but she kind of just seems to like fucking with everyone and like fucking shit up. Like that's ultimately what it feels like she wants to do. And then you have Greed, who seems to not even care or really be involved. He just wants to bang Amelia. Like, and he's scary. The way you see that he uses fear and manipulation to control his various wives. The way it's not just enough to get them to serve his like every whim. He has to break them emotionally. And you see how he's done that to this other girl. And you see like how if he wants to, he can just snap his fingers and blow their brains out. I think that's really good and really compelling. And it's all because the show knows how to present everything in a way that lets things be terrifying. It really is good. It really is a lot of fun. Other standout moments. I really like Amelia's fight with Wrath. It's a much bigger departure as opposed to where Amelia sometimes feels like she can be like super strong and OP and smart, but then other times she's just like the dainty damsel in distress. I think this arc balances her a lot better. You see how she is physically strong. You see a bit of how she can be clever and creative, but you also see things like she doesn't want the other girls to die. So like she's kind of got to go along with a bit of it till she can figure out the right time and how she can beat Greed. I really just like her giant ice sword. It's fun. I got nothing to say. I like giant ice swords. As for negatives, honestly, not many. There is, and this has been a problem since the show started. There is a few too many like convenient things happening, i.e. Garfield just randomly finds his half brother and half sister and then just ends up finding his long lost mother. Okay. Otto just kind of has the tomes from the last arc. Okay. Everything kind of happening at once the way it does. Yeah, some of the dialogue can get cheesy. Subaru's speech to everyone is great, but it does have that kind of like quippiness the show has that I think sometimes can be a little too much. But all in all, everything about this arc worked. It was a lot of fun. Characters are great. Story's great. And I understand why you're taking a big break, but I want it now, damn it. But yeah, give me your thoughts about this arc of ReZero in the comment section below. Do you like the show? Do you not like it? Do you kind of feel like they take too many gaps in between seasons so it's hard to keep up? Or were you excited the whole time? And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me back next year when it's time to talk about this show again.